Did you see that? There you go. Fish on. There you go. All right, we are out here on this fine, fantastic, very comfortable, breezy September day here. It is the 2nd of September. It's Labor Day. And today we're going to get back to the roots of the channel here. Right behind me, we've got a freshwater pond. Yes, that's how I started my channel, is freshwater fishing. I'm sure it doesn't look like it for most people because they see me out in the bay and out in the ocean with Josh and you're all the time. But Josh has got some stuff going on. It is a holiday weekend, so we can't get out in the boat. And of course, we're not going to deal with that nonsense traffic throughout that whole holiday weekend, man. Delawareans just stay the heck away from the beaches because it's just too congested. It takes too long to get there, and people just don't know what they're doing when they're out in these boats half the times. But enough said, we're going to be back out there again, probably hopefully next weekend, if not the following. But we are going to go ahead and attack this freshwater pond. It's right behind me right here. I just dropped my daughter off for work, so I got a few hours to go and try to catch a fish and put it up in front of you. But we're going to go ahead and attack this in 2 different ways. I'm sure you can notice there's some clearings right here and way out in the distance over there. But if you notice to my right and over here behind me right there, there's algae there. So we're going to go ahead and use a creature bait for all of the clear areas. And then what we're going to do, where the algae blooms are at, we're going to go ahead and put a frog up there, and hopefully we can get a nice blow up right there. So give me a couple seconds. Let me get a couple baits I think will work here on this pond, and hopefully we can get this action up and running fairly quickly for you. We got both our combinations all prepared right here. We've got a Texas rig all ready to go for the Bandito bug, which will attach to that. Don't worry about the brown line, guys. We are going to change it later today. I do have a brand new spool. I just haven't had a chance to change it because this has been sitting in the car for quite a while with all the bay and ocean fishing we've been doing. But we got the frogging rod, or aka my swim bait rod, and we are going to go ahead and try to attack some of these scum lines that are right along the edge here. These tiny little patches here, and of course that big old bloom that's sitting right there. I don't know if there's any down there or not, but if I had to guess where I think we're going to get the blow-ups out of all these scenarios right here, it's probably going to be right there. I've used buzz baits in here. I've used whopper ploppers. I've never used a frog because we've never had this issue here with these algae blooms. So we're going to go ahead and try that out and try to get a first on that. But let's get to work, stop talking, and get the fish on. One thing I do want to let you know, the filthy frog that we have right here, or any type of style frog that you have, you know, you got your frog hooks that are inside of there, but some of the bodies you can actually open up. There's a little gap right in the butthole of the frog, and sometimes there's one right here in this opening where the plug is at. But I like putting in trout rattles. I'll put them down in the description field below because really you can only get them on Amazon. They're better than the glass rattles because they'll break and then all the ball bearings will freeze together. Or these plastic ones, they last for a long time. But that little extra vibration that you put inside this frog will help you catch more bass. But let's go ahead and get that first cast out there. See what's happening. All right, so I threw a few times right over here. Obviously nothing's going on. As I told you, it is a little shallow over here. But let's see if we can rustle up one or maybe two out of this algae bloom that's right in front of us here. One thing I'm noticing as I'm getting back into the freshwater scene here, I've been driving past a lot of ponds, and a lot of them, again, are extremely low. But we got a nice little lone duck right here. Looks like he's got something hanging off the back of him. That's a tiny little duck, man. I don't know what that is. It looks like a duckling. We're gonna bomb it all the way out there. And it's just the right thickness, man, with the way I saw it plopped right there. So something's gonna blow up out of here, I'm sure. I love these mats. But one thing you want to remember when you're fishing frogs right here, if you can look right out here, you can see how it's kind of reflective. You can see all the whitish areas, but you can see black spots along there. Those black spots are actually openings. So sometimes when you bring the frog along, you want them to sit right in that little opening, because sometimes those bass can look right up and just blow up on them things fairly easy, because they're not very good of hitting these things accurately when they're under these mats without those openings. Oh, see that little fish just popped me right there. Oh, there you go. Just as I'm talking. Nice. That was a great blow up right there. It's one of my favorite things to do when I fish is top water. But little dinky do. But off she goes. We want the big ones. Make sure you clear up all the crap on your line. I'm sure you noticed when we caught that fish right there, you saw the blow up, and then I waited like a half second or second before I struck the fish. Frog fishing is a little bit different beast when you're out here top watering with these guys, mainly because there's two actions that the bass is partaking in. One is the obvious explosion up into the fish, which is the blow up you just saw right there, and then the other one is as they're getting the bait in their mouth, the water's flowing through their mouths and out through their gills, so they're kind of suctioning in that bait to bring it into them so they can go ahead and swallow the bait. So you're going to wait that half second or a second later so that fish can get that in his mouth, and that's when you want to strike, because that way you can get these hooks into the top of their mouths or sides if it happens that way. But if you don't, you're going to end up missing a lot of bass if you just automatically strike it because you just got excited because you saw the blow up. So those are things that you got to discipline yourself on when you're out here fishing with these types of baits. But again, that's all research and watching other YouTube channels and just learning techniques that might help you out on your channel, or just you out there fishing in general. But I'm seeing a lot of movement underneath these blooms right here, so something hopefully pretty big is lurking underneath here. Jig, 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 stop. Jig, jig, stop. Change your pattern. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 3. So whatever way you want to do it, but just don't do the same exact thing over and over again. But again, that little rattle that's in that bait is going to help you go a long way in catching fish. Because sometimes coming silently through these baits, if they're not heavy enough, they're not going to feel it, because some of these mats get pretty thick. So I tend to use a little bit heavier frog here in Delaware. These are perfect right here, these filthy frogs by GOOGAN baits. Every once in a while you're going to get this going on right here. So what that's telling me out right now is that the hooks are kind of sticking out a little bit and catching all this algae. So you can either press it with your hands, press the hooks in a little bit so it tucks into the body a little bit, and kind of cuts that down, or use your pliers and kind of twist them in a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go with my lighter frog. Frog's just a little too heavy for this mat right here, so we'll go ahead and cut that off. And I don't know what the color is. I think it's midnight something, but it's actually a lunker hunt frog that I have, and the material's just a little bit lighter. I still got the rattles in there, but it won't bury as much into that bloom there as this frog would. Thought I had a lighter dark one, but I don't. But I have a lighter white one, so color's really not going to matter because we're going over this mat and they can't see it, they're going to feel it. But we got the rattles in there, and hopefully that bait doesn't dig too much into the bloom here. Wow, did you see that? There you go. Fish on. There you go. See how I waited? I knew something was going to be there. Got both those hooks into his jaw there, but still not the giant yet. Off you go. Oh yeah! Think you wanted that frog? Oh, dang it. That was a decent one too right there. Short striking it. One thing about frog fishing here is sometimes you can go right back over the same spot again and those fish might blow up on it a second time. So always try to cast right where you just came from, and you might be able to get them. See that? And just because I missed them doesn't mean I'm not going to cast over there again. He's not going to go for it for the third time. But we'll go back over that a little bit later on, because sometimes they'll turn around and change up on you. Kind of figured we would get some in this shaded area. You can hear the frogs in the background. See what I mean, that they're not accurate when they're hitting these things underneath these blooms? They just kind of sense and feel where it may be. All right, let's get to the other side of this sewer drain right here, and we're going to cast the opposite way and into the shade. Hopefully we can get one out of the shady area. All right, a couple more casts and then we'll switch over to our Bandito bug. I'm surprised nothing is right up on the edge of these blooms. This is a perfect time to be fishing with top water baits. Temperatures have gone down. You're gonna have some nice lows going on in the evenings, down in the 60s, maybe 50s. But these fish have been stressed hard this year. A lot of hot weather, and a lot of these ponds were drying out, including this one. The level doesn't seem too bad over here. But I've seen some of them, they're like dangerously low. I read an article today, I think it was, there was a fish kill up in Glasgow. So I don't know exactly where it was, but if anybody in Della knows, pop that down below and let me know what pond that was that had that fish kill. But that's never a good sign when you see that. I've only seen one other fish kill in my life, and that was down south of our state here, and I mean, it like knocked out practically every living thing that was in this lake, and it took a long time for the fish to rebound. There are still giants in there, because there used to be, I mean, way big bass in this lake. But we're going to visit that lake at some point in time, because the Labor Day holiday is over with, so most of the traffic will be out of there, and we don't have to worry about 15,000 people, you know, crowding up the lake. But I think we out-frogged this bloom here. But just to give you an example right here, this pond, you see where the water line is right here. It's actually supposed to be right there. So it's a good maybe 1.5 feet off. That's about the same story on most of these ponds I'm visiting. But I got a EWG, 1/16 of an ounce weight with a peg on it. And then we'll get our little Bandito bug action going on here. Sure there's one or two around here. If you guys remember correctly, the short that I put up last year, there was a donkey in here, well over 6 pounds. It jumped out of the water and it's through my line. Let's get that out there and see if we can get something to bite. Hey, there's bass blowing up all over here. Right there, right where the shade line ends right there. There's bass blowing up right on the edge. What's that? You need bait? I would just throw some plastic over there. You got a worm? Throw a plastic worm over there, wacky rig it. They're blowing right up on the edge, right there in that corner, right where the shade line is ending. See where that black thing sitting on the ground is? I would just stand right there and then throw right to that point. Just come right across there. That's where they're at. I just watched them blow up over here. They're going right after the bait. Right there, stop. And just cast right to that point. See if this boy, what do you got on there? What is it? Do you have a worm? What is it? I wouldn't use a dive bait, use some plastics. Just cast it through there, see what happens. Yeah, cast along the shoreline right there. Turn your bot, look. Turn your body. You got a fish? There you go. I told you. He got one. Nice job, bud. I don't know how he caught that fish as wildly as he was casting, but good for him. I told you were there. Again, sometimes it's not about me, man. It's about him. There you go. Great job, man. I can see it's over a pound right here. Nothing's wanting my bandito bug yet. Oh, fish on. There you go, man. That thing just slammed the living daylights out of that bait. Picked it up on the drop. There you go. I changed up my retrieve because I was jigging, but then I did a slow crank on the bottom. That's when this guy came along. All right, still the same size. Not the giant we're looking for. But 3 on the board. Off she goes. Well, at least we got fish on both baits. That's a good thing. But I'm loving the temperatures out here, man. This is much better than yesterday. I think it was our last hot day, but sometimes we do have Indian summers here, but it was muggy as anything. It took me 2 hours or so to clean my car out. I mean, it was an absolute hideous mess, and I've been putting it off and putting it off. Finally did it. So I'm so grateful now that it's done, so I don't get slapped in the head with my rods or poked in the back of my fishing tackle box and hooked and snagged. But in a few weeks, we will be getting to one of my favorite times of the year. That's fall bass fishing, man, because that means lipless crankbaits. I love burning them things and catching them big mamas, man, as they're feeding up before the winter comes around. It's a neat time. Hopefully the little man comes over here. We'll give him a little fist bump. Get a little bit of notoriety if he's old enough. Oop. There's a fish on. Ah, I missed him completely. You're doing a big no-no. When you tie your bait right here, see this right here? Yeah. Always cut that off. I never. Because when it's yeah, always cut it off. It's probably half the reason why you're not catching fish. Probably half the times. My dad tells me to cut it off. Yeah, you got to, because what happens is they'll come up on the bait, and that thing will touch them, and it'll spook them away. It'll spook them away? Yep. So you want to cut it as close as you can. You do YouTube? Yeah, I do. You probably watch me. What's your 302 Fishing? I think I've heard of it before. You better. 302 Fishing? Yeah. How old are you? 12. Okay, so we got Asher right here. That's an unusual name. How did you get that name, Asher? I've never heard of that name before. But Asher's fishing with a little micro bait right here, a little crankbait. He just caught that fish across the way, so I want to give him a fist bump for catching that. He actually says he has a channel, so let people know. What's your channel? Channel's Kingfisher. Kingfisher? Yeah, Kingfisher. Just like it sounds, right? Yeah. All right, man. He's got 9 subscribers, but maybe he'll have 900 by the end of the year. You never know. Yeah. But give this young man a like and subscribe to his channel right here, man, so you can help him out and build his channel up. But are you from the area? Right here? Yeah, I live like right now. Oh, there you go, man. Yeah. Just keep fishing this pond, man. You're gonna get that 6-pounder. There's a big one in here. He's caught in big ones on Who's that? This guy right here? My dad. Is that your dad? Okay. Yeah, always he's teaching it the right way. Cut that tag line off, man. I'm gonna tell you the key to this YouTube channel. Post at least once a week, and don't quit. What? I've been doing this for a number of years. I'm just barely at 8,000 almost right now. Yep. And then hopefully this week, if not next week, I'll be at 1 million views. Yeah. But I mean, this is my baby right here. I do freshwater all the time, but in the spring and the summer and some fall, I do a lot of bay and ocean fishing with my buddy that's on the channel with me. As I told you guys, as the sun was going down, that the bass usually tend to get a little bit more active, especially underneath these algae beds right here, and I literally had 2 blow-ups right in front of us right there. So we're gonna cast that back out there again, kind of remember where I cast it at, and we're gonna try to see if we can get one of those 2 fish that just whacked me. Yeah, he's right there, right there.
And I realized, and like right before that, I would walk up, and my dad's like, "Is that a fishing pole?" Walk over there, a full in like contact. Like,
oh, there you go, fish on.
I sometimes usually I read those stuff.
All right, we got a nice little blow up right there.
And it was a pen rod.
Right.
And it was discontinued. It was a rare rod. Like,
nice.
It was something, dude. Like I have it in my house, it's squeak eater.
Right.
I have this thing right here too.
Now this looks like right here, this is not a birthmark right here. This looks like a scar from possible talon from maybe an eagle or a possible osprey on this guy, but we'll get him back in the water there.
I bought this from Walmart. You see this?
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. That's what you need right there. Perfect.
And the biggest one I caught this year was a 3-pounder. That's my record fish, like of all time, is a 5-pound sand shark.
Nice.
Up in Fort Bayham.
Man, something's waking right up behind my frog. Look, 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 look. There was a big old wake.
Look, he's just like, I'm gonna eat it.
Look, 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 look. See it again?
Yeah, he's like coming for it, but he's not like biting.
Look, he's still there. He's still there.
He's still there. I can tell. There he is.
There you go. Fish on. Oh, no. God dang it. Oh. We watched it wake twice underneath the bait. And he took it, man. I missed him. Dang it. Oh, boy. This is all I got, folks. I'm a hairy frog. Okay, we are losing our last available rays of light right here. I got a few fish on the end of the line, got a few on the frog, which I predicted was going to happen right here in the algae muck, and had that big wake. Not once, but twice, and even blew up on it, and I missed it. I blew it, guys. And I got one off the Bandito bug, but the main thing I want to do is just give Asher a shout out right here. Kingfisher is the name of his YouTube channel. He's got 9 subscribers. Let's help that young man grow his channel right there. He seems passionate. He's a very good speaker. You can hear him multiple times here, just chatty. So that's good, man, if he's a good talker. Now we got to just get fish on the end of the line. So maybe might collab with him. Maybe his dad might let me do that with him and help him build up his community there. But great job, Asher, catching that one across the way when I told you how to catch the fish that were blown up on the edge. But as he was walking away, right across the way by the rocks right there, he caught one as he's walking back home with his dad. It sounded pretty big. I mean, 2-3 pound, by the way I was hearing off of the blow up that he got from that bait he put out there. But like I said, let's help that young man out. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, give us a like right there. I would hope you consider subscribing to the channel, clicking that notification bell. That way, informed of all of our future episodes. You can follow us on Instagram at 302fishing. As always, there's a great video on the right-hand side. And of course, you can jump on the playlist all the way to the beginning of the channel. I'm hoping you guys had a great day, and I hope to get to see you on the next episode.